Well, isn't it fantastic to have MPL Victoria back? Hello and welcome to all of you Preston Lions fans watching out there. We're very sorry you can't be here in person, but the next best thing, a live stream from Casey Fields, a top of the table clash in MPL 3 as Melbourne City take on your Preston Lions. I'm Josh Parrish. We've got the brilliant Nathan Sack on the camera today. And a big thank you, a massive thank you to Nick Soklev and the Northern Motor Group for making today's stream possible. Without the Northern Motor Group, you wouldn't be able to watch this game in any way. So make sure, if you're looking to buy a new car, Northern Motor Group Bundoora is the place to go. Proud supporters of the Preston Lions. Just waiting for the teams to come out here on this pristine pitch at the brand new Melbourne City Academy in Melbourne Southeast. It's an exciting contest between some very technically adept young players of Melbourne City and this Preston Lions side that has shown so much quality and so much heart so far this season. Notably, in round one, the last time these two teams played each other, when Alex Schiavo netted a last-minute winner, sending 4,000 home fans into ecstasy. No Alex Schiavo today, unfortunately, through injury. But we will have a very strong lineup regardless. Coaches and players making their way out now. We'll join you in a couple of minutes for the kickoff here at Casey Fields. Melbourne City versus Preston Lions. Just about to kick off here at Casey Fields. Let us know in the Facebook Live comments where you are watching from. Give you the starting lineups for the visiting Preston Lions. At left back, number 4, Karl Berishevic. At centre half, number 19, Noam Sekulovsky, and number 17, Jamie Perchevsky. At right back, it is number 7, Benji Levitikos. Across the midfield, we've got number 23, Matthew Kandari. Number 18, Andrea Roxandic. Number 10, Robert Stambolziev. Number 26, Ryu Yamagishi. Then your attacking options. Got number 24, Terence Carter, in a rich vein of goal-scoring form when the season paused. See what he can produce today. And number 6, Lockie Roos. On the bench, number 9, Bradley Blumenthal. Number 77, Chris Davies. Number 3, James Harron. Number 8, Rob Naumowski. And number 15, Nathan Talevsky. Number 1, Matthew Symes starts between the sticks today. For Melbourne City, got number 21, Munib Adis. Number 10, Lucas Burns. Number 19, Max Caputo, the 15-year-old who recently made his A-League debut. Number 28, Dominic Foligno. Number 18, Matthew Grimaldi. Number 13, Daniel Vicente. Number 14, Alexander Meneleu. Number 4, Alec Mills. Number 15, Sharbul Shamoun. Number 42, Ahmed Taleb. And number 6, Jordi Valadon. Preston start with the ball. This lovely surface will suit two teams who like to keep the ball on the deck and play some football. A loose pass from Roxandic to start the game. Winabadis trying to get in behind early. It's Terence Carter who can't get to the header. Alec Mills winning that one. Perchevsky sending it Lockie Roos's way. It's a lovely control and pass. Kandari out to Yamagishi. Kandari to hit one! Oh, what a start! What a perfect start for the Preston Lions. And it is an absolute stunner from Matthew Kandari. Arrowed into the top corner. The visitors take an early lead in some style. Preston Lions 1, Melbourne City 0. An absolute screamer. Couldn't have hit it more perfectly. Matthew Kandari. What a goal. Sekulovsky for Carter. Lovely flick. Bruce can't quite get there. Out to Burns. Ball holds up a little bit on the wet turf. They advance regardless. Good touch from Valadon. Keeping this one alive. Swung in early, and Sekalovsky heads away. Carter can't quite get there. Here's Mills. Yamagishi doing the closing down. Ambitious switch from Mills. It's arrowed straight onto Berishevic's chest. Yamagishi. Loves to run at defenders. Good dummy run from Carter there to draw the defence away. It's Roos for Stambolziev to curl one. A comfortable save for the City goalkeeper. Manib on the break. End-to-end contest so far. Sekalovsky's interception. Leviticos with the slide. Coughed up by Roxandich, but that's straight through into the grateful arms of Matthew Symes. If you're just joining us, a dream start. A dream start for Preston inside the opening couple of minutes. Matthew Kandari hitting a first-time strike flush with his laces. Arrowed straight into the top corner where the Spiders live to give the visiting Preston Lions an early lead. City have rallied though. It's crossed in by Burns. It's an ambitious scorpion attempt. Nowhere near it. Trying the Olivier Giroud style finish. There's number 19, Max Caputo. '15-year-old Italian-Australian who has a bit of flair about him, apparently. We saw this in the home fixture at BT Connor. The way Melbourne City like to move the ball from left to right and try and stretch the Preston back line. It was an almighty effort that kept them running all day. Players going down with cramp left, right and centre in the last few minutes of that contest. So, real challenge for the strength and conditioning staff, especially after 2 weeks of COVID-enforced break. Stambolziev on the run. Hemmed in by 2-3 defenders. Carter. Winning it back. Industrious from the centre forward. Roos under pressure keeps it. That's Preston's ball. Pachevsky. It's a poor pass from the centre half, and City can spring away through Lachente. Sekalovsky positioning himself perfectly again. Adis. Mills. Foligno for City. Out to Burns. Ryu Yamagishi doing the defensive hard yards. Caputo trying to hold the ball up. Pachevsky wins that duel and wins the goal kick. Rus. Berishevic. Not enough pepper on that pass for Carter, who collects his opposite number and will be the first player into the book today, Terence Carter, with a late challenge. It's Jordi Valadon, who just shimmied out of the way in time, and Carter collected both of his legs. Centre forwards challenge. No malice in it, but referee felt was deserving of an early booking here. He's Adis on the break. Turning on the afterburners, but Sekalovsky keeping up with him. Pretty impressive given the enormous age gap between the two. Be a set piece for City now. Swung in hard towards the near post, but Matthew Symes read it all away. Berishevic going long down the line. Felino on the cover. Sekalovsky. Perchevsky. Slips. Appeals for handball. And a cynical one while he's on the deck. Sekalovsky given the yellow card to stop the counter-attack. Another shout for handball, this time against Leviticos. Sandic winning it back after a messy spell, but Yamagishi's pass is short. Well, it's phenomenal grass cover here, but just walking across the pitch to our commentary position today, I did notice it's quite boggy after some heavy rainfall. You can see a lot of passes just falling short of their intended target. To really zip them into feet today. Leviticos preaching calm. He takes a moment to allow Roksandic to compose himself. Stambolziev's flick beyond the grasp of Terence Carter. Burns. Caputo dropping way off the front line there to receive possession, but his pass is wayward. Coach Atsevsky prowling his tactical area, dishing out instructions for every pass. With no fans in attendance today, his voice is carrying even more than usual. Symes. Lots of time on the ball. Caputo will press him now. Flicked on by Stambolziev. It's Roos. Some good control again. Nice first time flick from the goal scorer, Kandari. Stambolziev. Davidikos trying to swing that one in. It's blocked by the first man. Second chance here for Preston. Kandari to recycle. It's all the way back to the goalkeeper. Burns. The ball in. It was a complete miss kick on the follow-up from the number 10. Yamagishi has no support. Almost triple team there, the Japanese import. No way through, and Preston do well to keep the ball. That one's straight to Alec Mills. Now Lucas Burns. Preston want the throw, but they won't get it. Valadon. Last touch off the City right back, who's been very aggressive in his forays forward so far this afternoon. Daniel Lucente. Change of ball here. Yamagishi calls for a drink. Lovely day to be a spectator today, not so much to be a player. It's pretty warm out there. Nicely worked by Kandari and Berishevic, but it breaks down. Burns stepping in field, has his heels clipped. Berishevic stealing it back off Lucas Burns, and now good challenge comes in on Lockie Roos before he can spring the counter-attack. Adis to swing it in towards Caputo. Pachevsky minding him very tightly. And will be Geordie Verladen to take this City corner. Rob Naumowski being put through his paces on the touchline. Just perhaps a slight injury concern in midfield for Preston. Away by Roos. Geordie Verladen with time to pick his cross, but it's overhit. Yamagishi in two minds as to whether to play that ball, and he perhaps should have let it roll out over the goal line. It's Burns. Loses his dribble. That's out for a goal kick, but a bit of concern for Andrea Roksandic, the unsung hero of the Preston midfield in that deep-lying anchor role in front of the back four. Would be a blow to lose him, but it looks like they're going to play it cautiously here. He will be replaced by number 8, Rob Naumoski. Fortunately, an area of the park where Preston have considerable strength and depth. Not many sides would have the luxury of starting a player of Naumoski's calibre on the bench. He'll be injected earlier than Lujatsevski had planned. Again, massive thank you to Northern Motor Group for making today's broadcast possible. Preston down to 10 temporarily. And now Mosky will be introduced at the next stoppage, which won't come just yet. Bit of head tennis going on in the middle of the park. Always going for that ball between centre back and right back for Munibaitis. Burns, meanwhile, has had more freedom to freelance on this right-hand side. Here's Licente. Never really got hold of that shot. Preston still down to 10. With Roksandic being examined by the physio. It's Adis for City. Left back overlapping to the byline. And Sekulovsky, as always, is in the way. Finally, it's 11v11 with Rob Naumoski entering. And the injured Andrea Roksandic going to the bench, dejected. Still been a fruitful afternoon for Preston, despite the injury, opening the scoring the opening 2 minutes, thanks to Matthew Kandari. An absolute bomb from the edge of the box. Fell to him invitingly, and he hammered it first time into the top right corner. Levitikos getting forward for the first time today. His path is blocked by 2 City defenders. Now Mosky into the fray with a sliding covering challenge. Here's Munibaitis, as part of the Football Empowerment Development Squad. Great to see him given an opportunity in an A-League youth setup. Burns. Lachente. Verladen. Grimaldi now. City with all the possession, but finding their route to goal rather stubbornly blocked by a well-organised Preston defence. Their goal return. They're not a side used to playing on the back foot, but the situation demands. With the lead, it's really up to City to break them down. Perchevsky finds Berishevic. One's turned over. Burns has a midfielder in support. Jordi Verladen, who's looked sharp early. It's Lachente again with the early delivery. That one evades both Preston centre halves this time. Leviticos sent it skywards and gathered at the second attempt by Matthew Symes. A little warning sign there when they do turn it over Preston inside their own half. Stambolziev lays it off first time for now Moski. Brilliant use of the body there. Great balance, but the pass does fall a little short. Second chance for Royce. Crossing in. It's Yamagishi at the back stick, trying to get it on his right foot. Deflected. The shot goes nowhere in the end. One's gone out of play from Verladen. Frustrating afternoon for the number 19 up front, Max Caputo. Big raps on the City striker, though, from those involved here in the youth setup. Face their biggest test of the season today, though, up against the top of the table Preston Lions and down a goal. Kindari. Last touch off Lachente. Now Moski. Too much pep on that pass from Berishevic. Again, Mills tries to find his radar, which has deserted him so far off those long switches. Focused on shutting Preston's wingers down today, City. Often double teaming Stambolziev or Yamagishi when they get the ball on the halfway mark. Foligno. Verladen trying to pick out Burns. Berishevic gets the better of him. It's Adis. And it is 1-1. Melbourne City respond through Manib Adis. The simplest of finishes at the back stick. There's good build-up work from Verladen. Lucas Burns on the right-hand side. Just being the beneficiary of a slight ricochet that deceived the helpless Karl Berishevic. Low across the area, and Ada supplies the finishing touches. It's 1-1 here at Casey Fields. Was never going to be plain sailing for Preston today against a side of this calibre. These two teams played out the match of the season in round one. And this contest poised beautifully at one apiece, has all the ingredients to surpass it. It's Matthew Grimaldi for City. Little back heel from Adis. Sekalovsky cleaning up. Kandari getting his head up. Good run from Roos. Carter getting involved for the first time in a while. His pass falls short. An earlier foul called back by today's referee. Terence Carter impeded on that pass. Keep your comments coming through on the Facebook Live. Tony suggesting Preston's sluggishness in the last few minutes a result of too many late nights watching the European finals. I can certainly relate to that. Macedonia, of course, qualifying for the first time at a major tournament in their history. A very proud moment for this proudly Macedonian club, the Preston Lions. Lots of pressure on the ball from this very nippy City midfield. Geordie Verladen's impressed. Particular so far, the number 6. Adis forcing the turnover. It's Caputo losing out to Sekalovsky again. Gente. Grimaldi. Back with Mills now. Burns with the touch around the corner. Manages to win it back as well. It's Lucas Burns going for the spectacular from quite an acute angle there. Burns. Caputo having his first touch. Pressed relentlessly. This time Berishevic sends it into touch. Is Charbel Shamoun. Notice with City fullbacks, they often drift in field certain phases of possession. Tactical variation brought into the senior setup last season by Eric Mombarts, and seems an instruction to carry through that playing style right down to the academy and youth teams. The goal scorer, Manib Adis, to swing this one in with his left boot. It's a miss-hit. And an easy clearance for Lockie Roos, the near post. Little push in Stambolziev's back goes unpunished there. Took him out of the headed contest. That would have been controversial if City had scored. Leviticos sends a terrific long pass to Terence Carter. That's immaculately done for Yamagishi. Across, can't beat the towering Alec Mills at the front post. The first example in a few minutes of how Preston can spring away on the break here. Terence Carter hasn't had the greatest of games so far, but in an instant he can change one. That's a poor challenge from Berishevic, cleaning up Caputo's heels. No fuss from the number 19. Alex Meneleu spreading this one out to Shamoun. A thankless task for the number 24 up front so far, doing a lot of pressing on his lonesome. Kandari wins it back. That's a good dribble from Stambolziev, who wants further punishment for that challenge, stopping the counter-attack. A lot of possession for City between those two centre halves. Certainly completed the most passes in this match, probably to each other. They're able to keep those possession sequences going with almost metronomic precision. Poor touch from Grimaldi. He brings down Roos, who's keen to keep the attack going. An advantage will be paid. Stambolziev now. Deflection took it behind. It'll be a Preston corner. Lockie Roos wandering over to take it. Numbers up from the back, including the towering frame of Jamie Pachevsky. Look out for his run, the number 17. Doesn't make it that far. Leviticos trying to pick out a player who he wasn't aware was offside. Josh Parrish here on commentary for FNR Football Nation Radio and the Preston Lions today. Club broadcast made possible by the wonderful sponsors of the Preston Lions and especially Northern Motor Group Bundoora. Big shout out to Nick Soklev and the Northern Motor Group. You can see in the top right corner of your screen, this broadcast is proudly presented by Yamagishi. Closed down by Shamoon, and Matthew Symes can't pick out a teammate. Again, the patient play from left to right. Trying to find a gap in this organised Preston midfield to play through. Foligno. Preston happy to allow these two centre-backs to have the ball. Adis flicking that one around the corner. Couldn't find Matt Grimaldi. This rebound does fall for Max Caputo. He'll swing that one in for Lucas Burns, but across wrong-footed the number 10. Just a word that our match clock is slightly behind where it should be, so we're approaching the end of the first half now, so don't be surprised if you hear the halftime whistle blow at the 43 or 42-minute mark. Not quite accurate. Plenty for head coach Louis Artsevsky to think about at the break. He couldn't have scripted the opening to this fixture any more perfectly. Matthew Kandari, new acquisition this season coming from St Albans. Blasted into the top corner from 20 metres. After an excellent team move down the wing. Second ball off the cross fell his way. Put his laces through the ball. And the rest was history. City finding an equaliser, eventually through Manib Adis. After a slightly fortuitous rebound fell the way of Lucas Burns. They have been putting the pressure on. Can the Lions keep them at bay? Shamoon. For Layden. Dominic Foligno finding Matt Grimaldi. Burns getting the assist for the goal and has been right down this right-hand side all afternoon so far. Flag up on the near side here. It might be a foul throw. Perhaps an offside I didn't catch. You make up your own mind. We'll see where the free kick is taken from. Oh, it was actually a foul. So signals the assistant referee. A little push in the back that he brought to the referee's attention quite promptly. I think that offence happened off the ball. And that is 45 minutes played. In fact, we will have one added minute to finish the half here at Casey Fields. And that will be half time. Really high quality first half. City with all the possession, but the score is level. Fantastic strike from Matthew Kandari opened the scoring for the visiting Preston Lions. City huffed and puffed and eventually responded through Munib Aidis. But at halftime, it's a stalemate between these two top teams battling it out for the title here in NPL 3 Victoria. Josh Parrish here on the call for the Preston Lions, for FNR Football Nation Radio, and for the Northern Motor Group, who've made this broadcast possible today. We'll take a short break. And on the other side, make sure you stay tuned for the second half here at Casey Fields. It's NPL 3 Victoria action today. Sorry you can't be here in person. Fantastic to have the support of Northern Motor Group, making it possible for you to watch along at home. At halftime, it's Melbourne City 1, Preston Lions 1. Okay, I'm here at halftime with Preston star playmaker James Poole. Sadly, not participating today. What's going on with you, mate?
Yeah, unfortunately, just doing some fitness work in the break. I just pulled up with a little bit of a tight calf, which is something I struggled with in pre-season as well. So, just giving that a little bit of time to settle, and hopefully won't be too long out of action.
So this is a bit of a weird one for you today. Your employer versus your club. Do you have a horse in this race?
I've got both horses in this race, so I can't lose in this one. But no, it's a tough one for me. Obviously, my employees and people I work alongside every day are on one side, and then the boys and the club who I play for and represent are on the other. So I'm gonna sit completely on the fence and not nail my colours to one mast.
Well, I think the jacket you're wearing says it all for the viewers at home. So, what were your thoughts on that first half? Preston started very brightly with an absolute wonder goal, but City edged their way back into the contest rather quickly.
Yeah, it was an incredible strike by Kundari. I didn't know he had that in his locker. But great start for us as well. And City do what City do. They felt their way into the game a little bit more. They did dominate possession, and they make you work really hard. I'm not sure if it comes across on the stream as much as it does when you're actually playing, but it's incredibly hard to play against. They move you from side to side. You're going backwards, you're going forwards, and they try and weigh you down that way. And they were able to find a breakthrough later on in the first half. But I think on chances created, probably going in 1-1 is probably quite fair.
Certainly, City with a lot of possession, but the shot count and the chances count was pretty even. What did you make of the tactical variation they've got going on? Little fullback coming inside. How hard is that to actually play against when they're trying to outnumber you in those midfield areas?
It's again, it's a lot harder than it actually looks. You're constantly looking around, looking over your shoulder, and you think you're safe, and then somebody just nips into that position, and if you're half a second off on your defensive side of things, then these boys have got the quality to expose you and really create some chances. So it's really tough, especially in that midfield area, which is where they try and pack 5 or 6 bodies in there, and often playing against our 2 or 3 in the middle. So it is actually really tough. And I think in general the boys have stayed strong, but it's a type of style of play where you need to be switched on for 95 minutes, because if you're not, then they'll find a way through eventually.
Andrea Roxandic going down with an injury early in that half. Luckily, Preston have quite impressive strength and depth, being able to bring Rob Naumowski off the bench. But what does Roxy give you, and what will Preston miss out on in the second with him absent?
Real discipline and defensive strength. Roxy's probably the best in the team at playing that role, just screening in front of the 2 central defenders, which when you're playing against a good attacking team is really valuable. So it's a big shame him going off, but I think you're spot on there. The strength in depth we've got of all the boys on the bench, really, they've played the part in some games this season already, and Rob was probably disappointed not to be starting, but he's probably got longer than he expected to make an impression and have an impact on the game and stake a claim for next week.
What's it been like? Obviously, you're injured at the moment, but for the rest of the squad coming back from a 2-week lockdown break, how easy is it to just pick up and go again after 1 week's training?
It's physically it can be quite tough. I'm sure some players find it easier than others. Some players come back straight into it. Others, it might take a little bit of time. So, I think the boys have been professional in the break as well. We've had good programs from Joey and the high performance team to make sure that we're coming back in as good a physical shape as possible. And a lot of the City boys have been training during the lockdown period, so it is an advantage they have. But we've got a fit group of boys, and we've got a really dedicated and committed group of boys. So I don't see the physical side of thing being a problem for us.
Which goal was better, Kandari's or yours in the 94th minute in the game before lockdown, mate?
Oh, mine was a winner all day long. If Kundari does it again in the 94th minute and we win 2-1, then I might be a little bit more level and say him, but he needs to go and do it now.
Well, you jumped straight into the crowd after that one. I think the whole nation saw you do that as well. What kind of celebration would you be pulling out today with no fans? It's not quite the same, is it?
No, it's not, and it's a real shame, I think, for obviously the Preston boys and the incredible following that we have, regardless of where we're playing in Victoria. The fans are here in numbers, and also for the City boys to experience playing in front of a real proper football crowd, which they don't get to do most weeks. So it is a real shame, and the game, there's a part of it doesn't quite feel a Preston game because our fans aren't here. But the situation is as it is. There's nothing we can do about it. We've just got to remain professional, work as hard as we can, and hopefully we can have the fans back in sooner rather than later.
Fingers crossed. Preston, they need another goal to win this thing. Where is it coming from?
I think you said the quality on the bench there. We've got Chris Davis is our top scorer who's not playing. So, if Chrissy gets a run out, then you can't take your eyes off him. He's a real threat as well. And with the quality we've got in Stambolziev and Ryu as the wingers, then I'm sure that if Davis gets on, he's going to get plenty of chances.
You heard it here first. C. Davies off the bench and onto the score sheet. We'll see if we've got an Nostradamus here in James Poole. James, thank you, mate, for doing this halftime interview. And if you want to wander over and be my commentator in the second half, my co-coms, then you're more than welcome.
Cheers, Josh. Thanks, mate.
We'll take a little more of a break here at Casey Fields. It's halftime. It's a beautiful day. We'll lap up some rays as the Preston side get their instructions from Coach Louis Otsevsky for the second half. It's locked at 1-1 here. Very tasty top of the table clash, so don't you dare go anywhere.